Okay, so completing the outcome measures template for the grant proposal phase will work just as it did for the concept proposal phase. Download the template from the FAST website to your computer, complete the template, and upload the finished document to the Attachments tab in FAST. Alternatively, you may use the copy of the template submitted with the concept proposal and make revisions to the template as needed. However, keep in mind that you must upload the template in the Attachments tab for the grant proposal phase. And as before, the template must be uploaded as a Word document. Before making any revisions to the outcome measures template, we strongly encourage all applicants to review the administrative and technical feedback provided in FAST. This should provide a guide to the areas that could be improved with some revision. If you did not receive feedback specific to the outcome measures, this is a good opportunity to review the outcome measure or measures selected and ensure that they will still be appropriate and realistic for the project. In addition, new outcome measures and/or indicators and sub-indicators may be selected in the grant proposal phase. However, CDFA cannot anticipate how substantial changes would be reviewed by the Technical Review Committee. There are a few key points to keep in mind in the revision process. All outcome measures, indicators, and/or sub-indicators selected must be achievable within the grant duration. Recipients are required to report on all outcomes, indicators, and/or sub-indicators identified. So please do not overstate outcomes or selected outcomes and outcomes and indicators that cannot be reasonably achieved within the grant duration in an effort to improve the likelihood of funding. And this is important to keep in mind because failure to successfully achieve outcome measures may adversely affect an applicant's ability to receive funding in the future. Also keep in mind that all projects must select at least one outcome measure and associated indicator and/or sub-indicator. All numerical estimates provided should be reasonable. The number of outcomes or indicators selected is not a factor in the scoring criteria. And although the template does not have a page limitation, content provided should be appropriate, necessary, and responsive to the intended purpose of the template. In addition, even though this is the same template that was used in the concept proposal phase, there is still sometimes confusion regarding the information that should be provided in the description section of the outcome measures template. This is the section entitled Description of Data Collection Methods. So to clarify, the content provided in the description section should pertain only to how the selected outcome measure and indicator will be measured, monitored, and reported. This section should not include information regarding how work plan objectives or other aspects of the project will be measured, monitored, or reported that are not related to the outcome measures. Remember, should a grant be awarded, recipients will be required to report on the selected outcome measures separately from the work plan objectives provided in the project objectives and work plan template. The description box in the outcome measures template should describe the plan for collecting data, monitoring, and reporting on the selected outcome measures only. In addition, each outcome measure must have a unique response for the data collection methods. Do not include responses such as see previous description or same as above if multiple outcome measures are selected. For each outcome measure, we recommend that you reread the selected outcome, indicator, and sub-indicator to confirm that the response specifically addresses the outcome measure as written without altering the meaning. And note that outcome measure 1 is the only outcome measure that asks for a percentage. So don't include a percentage for any other outcome measure, as this would be considered an amendment. And here are a few specifications regarding the following outcome measures. Remember that outcome measure 1 is mandatory for all proposals submitted under the Grown in California funding category, or for marketing and promotion projects that focus efforts to sell, advertise, promote, market and generate publicity, attract new customers, or raise customer awareness for specialty crops or specialty crop venue, regardless of the funding category under which the proposal is submitted. In addition, for outcome measure 1, the specific measure must be expressed as a dollar value and percentage increase of sales as a result of the marketing and/or promotion activities. It's necessary to measure actual sales figures resulting from marketing efforts against an established baseline to evidence an increase in sales. And for projects that don't already have a baseline of sales in dollars, one of the objectives of the project must be to determine a baseline during the grant period. For outcome measure 4, Indicator 2, sub-indicator A, should measure adoption of the recommended practices as a result of the project activities. Please note this does not mean indicating the intention to adopt the recommended practices, but rather the outcome measure requires the measure of adoption of the recommended practices. And similarly for outcome measure 5, indicator 2, it should measure the number of innovations adopted. Again, please note this does not mean indicating the intention to adopt innovations, but rather the outcome measure requires the measure of the number of innovations actually adopted. And lastly, for outcome measure 8, the difference between jobs and careers is that jobs are the net gain of paid employment, whereas new businesses created or adopted can indicate new careers. The beginning farmer is an individual or entity that has not operated a farm or ranch for more than 10 years and substantially participates in the operation. And a socially disadvantaged farmer is a farmer who is a member of a socially disadvantaged group. A socially disadvantaged group is defined as a group whose members have been subject to discrimination on the basis of race, color, national origin, age, disability, and where applicable, sex, marital status, familial status, parental status, religion, sexual orientation, genetic information, political beliefs, reprisal, or because all or part of an individual's income is derived from any public assistance program.